a ton of criticism from both fans and the media. The Eagles, with all their splashy free agency signings, were a very fashionable pick by many experts to make it to the Super Bowl. The team hasn't come close to those ideals, and the unavoidable question now is whether an embattled head coach will keep his job. John Barr has more in this Outside the Line story on what could be the final chapter of Andy Reid's Philadelphia story.
It was all in place in Philadelphia before this season. A multi-year deal for a franchise quarterback, a collection of newly signed free agents, widely considered to be the best in the league, and a city starved for a Super Bowl championship.
Michael coming to your side, he fumbled the ball.
Deflected off Smith, intercepted.
Goes good. 49ers have the ball.
That would be the clutch.
When it all came crashing down in 4 consecutive losses,
The Eagles just gave them the game.
the blame, for many, fell squarely on the longest tenured active head coach in the NFL.
To me, it's absolutely Andy Reid's fault. I'm tired of this cute stuff that he's been trying to do, man. I don't like it. I'm just ready for this dude to go, man, for real. I mean, I'm ready for him to go.
Mike Missinelli has been covering Philadelphia sports for more than 20 years and hosts the most popular afternoon drive radio show in the city.
How intense is the heat around Andy Reid right now?
As hot as it's ever been. In fact, it's probably hotter than it's ever been. I mean, the whole thing seems to be really close to falling down on him.
If things continue to unravel and the arrow continues to point downward for the rest of the season, I could see them making a change.
Hall of Fame sports writer Ray Didinger has been covering the Eagles since 1970. He says Reid's refusal to be more engaged with the media and fans has only made a bad situation worse.
Most NFL head coaches walk into a press conference with one thought in mind: how can I end this as quickly as I can?
We're going to learn how to finish here, starting with me.
We've got to do a better job as coaches.
And the way you can end it as quickly as you can is to be as unenlightening and uninspiring as you possibly can.
That's obviously my responsibility there.
And Andy has perfected it to an art form.
Absolutely terrible job by myself and my football team today.
He's so frustrating to get an answer out of. Even when you follow up, he doesn't give you the answer.
What?
It looked like Vic was handling his head a couple times after those hits. Get it tested for that?
Yeah, let's talk some football here. Let's talk football.
But the truth is, those same Reid qualities that drive reporters nuts are the ones his players love.
One reason I believe most of the players respect him as much as they do, because Andy never throws anybody under the bus.
Former All-Pro linebacker Jeremiah Trotter had 3 separate stints with the Eagles.
You know, as a player, when you're sitting at home, you're watching your head coach take all the heat when you know it's not his fault. That goes a long ways, and guys want to play for you.
But there's a growing sense in Philadelphia that the corrosive effect of Reid's personality may have finally worn the fans' patience thin.
Andy's got to go. Andy's got to go.
I covered Dick Vermeil when he was the coach. And Dick and Andy are as opposite can be. Dick couldn't hide his emotions. He wouldn't know how to begin to hide his emotions.
That's the greatest thrill I've ever had in coaching. And thank you for what you've done for me.
Do you anticipate any wholesale changes coming with
We'll see. All right, appreciate it, guys.
With Andy, there's the moat, and then there's the wall, and then there's the barbed wire, and then there's Andy. You're never going any closer to him than that.
That's not to suggest Reid is incapable of being warm and engaging. 2 years ago, he unexpectedly called to offer condolences when Didinger's mother, a lifelong Eagles fan, died.
It was very emotional for me at the time, because it was a side of him I had certainly never seen before.
And Reid's players frequently see a side of him the public seldom does. In his 13th year as the Eagles head coach, Reid still has a resume most coaches would envy. 9 playoff appearances, 5 trips to the NFC Championship game, a narrow Super Bowl loss after the 2004 season. But he'll forever be measured in Philadelphia by the one thing he and the Eagles lack: a Super Bowl victory.
What is Andy Reid's legacy?
Just like Donovan McNabb, he'll have the legacy of a good coach who really accomplished a lot, but wasn't good enough to get him to the next level.
Well, Andy Reid, Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie, and team president Joe Banner all declined interview requests for this story, again, which originally aired on Outside the Lines. All right, guys, we talked about this a little bit off the top of the show. We're halfway through the season. Tim, in your opinion, having looked at this team and studied tape, what isn't working? Why aren't all the pieces fitting?
Well, I think it's important to play complementary football, and so it's about every phase of how that team is playing. And when I look at them defensively, you know, we can talk so much about the perimeter players that they've added in terms of the corners and the talent they have there. But I look at the middle of that defense, and they don't have a difference maker at the linebacker position. If you're going to play in the NFC East, you're going to play teams that want to run the football and want to run it effectively, you need somebody that you have to deal with at that spot, either a tackling machine or somebody who makes splash plays, and they just don't have that. And so it isn't just about the fun guys that can run fast outside and make, you know, big plays. It's about everybody playing together as a unit, and it doesn't seem like they're doing that.
And when you bring in so many new pieces, it's hard to get them all working together right away. And there's been a tremendous amount of change that's happened to this team. And there's no way that you could live up to the hype that they had in the. But the idea that you're going to go find a better coach than Andy Reid, it's not going to happen.
No, he's been a very consistent winner, let's be clear. Sometimes change for change's sake is what's needed in the NFL, but, I mean, the Eagles weren't anywhere near where they've been under Andy before Andy Reid got there. The problem this year, again, as we said, no finishing kick. Been outscored by 36 points in the fourth quarter. That is the most in the NFL. Well, as we go next, what to watch for. The Raiders at the Chargers on Thursday night in primetime. The Raiders are off to a 1-2 start in their division after sweeping the AFC West a year ago. Meanwhile, the Chargers are reeling, losers of 3 straight. All right, John Clayton is back with us. John, give me the latest on running back injuries for Thursday night's game, starting with the Raiders and Darren McFadden.
Well, Darren McFadden looks like he's going to have to miss this game. He's been fighting a battle to try to get that injury in the foot healthy enough, and the fact that he's not been able to practice, he's not really been able to get off crutches. It's been slower in healing than anybody expected. And so with that in mind, they're going to have to go into this game with Michael Bush and then try to at least get Tawan Jones trying in there to get some plays going. But at this stage, no McFadden for the Oakland Raiders. Ryan Matthews does have a chance to be able to play as long as he continues to practice, and so far, so good. You know, he's been fighting a calf, a groin, all those different injuries there, but the fact that he sat out Sunday gave him a chance to at least get healthy enough to be available in this game. They still might go ahead and start Mike Tolbert, but they will have at least a chance to have Matthews on the field for the game. In the meantime, Malcolm Floyd, he's fighting an uphill battle to try to get healthy. He missed on Sunday. He very well may have to miss on Thursday, at least leaving their receiving core 1 player short.
All right, John, thanks. As always, we appreciate the information. When we continue here on NFL Live, Cam Newton revisited by John Gruden. What is the Panthers' rookie quarterback doing well, and what does John think he still has to work on? That's ahead. This is NFL Live. Plays of the Week coming up in about 13 minutes. 13 minutes.
College football lives here. Coverage begins with College Game Day, Saturday at 1500 CET, live on ESPN America.
Well, a Garrett Blunt hurdle is like, a LeGarrette Blunt hurdle is,
A LeGarrette Blunt hurdle is
Olympic.
Amazing.
It's always crazy seeing him jump. I mean, it's one of those things that you don't know how he does it. The man weighs 255 pounds.
You know, it's just instinct. My favorite hurdle is probably Arizona Cardinals game last year.
Blunt went airborne, put on the Superman cape. LeGarrette Blunt with a phenomenal run.
It's just like perfect. I mean, he's got perfect form, but you swear up and down he didn't run hurdles in high school. Yeah, you did.
Being able to have that, you know, as a weapon is just amazing.
It's like people still can't stop it. Like, you don't know when he's going to do it. He times it out so perfect.
It's legit.
College Game Day all season on ESPN America.
Well, despite the Panthers' 2-6 record, Cam has been awesome. No quarterback has averaged more yards per completion than his 13.8. His 7 rushing touchdowns are 5 more than any other quarterback in the league so far. Now, John Gruden sat down with Cam before the draft in his quarterback camp. Gruden now with his mid-season review of where Newton is halfway through his rookie campaign.
Going to dive for it, and he's in. Touchdown! Touchdown!
You're beautiful.
Newton takes, slings it, end zone. Touchdown, Carolina!
You can't even explain how good this kid is.
You know what I like about Cam Newton? When he came down to the FFCA in Tampa, the Fired Football Coaches Association, he dressed nicer than anybody. I mean, he was sharp. And as I see Newton today getting off the bus, look how this cat dresses. I mean, those are some fine threads. This is a man of style. And I like that about Newton. I remember asking Cam, are you going to be able to stand in front of your NFL teammates and become a leader? What are you going to be like when you walk into the huddle? You just walk in there real cool.
Look at him.
You walk in there, all these veterans are looking at you. What are you going to be like in the huddle, all these veterans?
Oh, man, you have to command the huddle as a quarterback. In that huddle, everybody respects him and knows that he's going to hold himself accountable in a higher level than everybody else.
Already, he stands in front of the Carolina Panthers, and they trust and they believe in him. I think the package that they've put together in Carolina in their tight red zone is perfect for Cam Newton. I don't know how you stop him. Heck, the Green Bay Packers, look at this. Fake the ball to Jonathan Stewart and run a one-back power play away from the fake. You get the double team, the pulling guard, and you got slam. Don't tell me you can't run these Auburn plays in the NFL because Carolina's doing it against the world champions. How about Chicago Bears? There's Lance Briggs. There's Urlacher. They're going to fake the ball right at him. Here comes Newton. He's just going to run right around you, and you ain't going to get him either. Yeah, we asked him about Gus Malzahn and how they call plays, and it caused a stir with some people. Call something at Auburn that's a little verbal. What would be a little verbal? Any recollection on that? Give me something. What's an Auburn play sound like?
Oh, man, you put me on the spot.
A lot of people wondered, can you learn an NFL offense? Can you apply it fast? Can we do a lot of things? Not a problem. I see him over there with Jeremy Shockey making adjustments on the sideline. After every series, he and his quarterback coach talk and communicate, and they're running more formations than most teams. You know who's coaching Cam Newton? That's Mike Shula. Mike Shula used to coach at Alabama. An Alabama guy coaching an Auburn guy. How sick is this world? The other big concern we had with Cam, can he become a quarterback like Brett Favre that can make it happen underneath the center? I see Cam Newton reverse pivoting, throwing slants on the money. He can take the snap from center. He can execute any kind of pass, any kind of play action or running play with ease. So the conversion from shotgun quarterback to playing underneath the center, not an issue. I think you're looking at the certified, legitimate, unanimous Rookie of the Year. As long as he takes care of himself, and I think he can do a little better job in the second half of the season taking care of the ball. Because clearly he does get into a little trouble once in a while when he tries to get too much out of some plays. And I think he'd agree with that. Because he's already earned the respect of his peers. How many times has Aaron Rodgers walk across the field shaking his head going, man, you know Aaron Rodgers is dead. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, you've heard of the seal of approval. That was John Gruden's face of approval right there on Cam Newton. As you look at Cam, what has impressed you as a head coach, knowing what he came into from the league, from the college game, and no OTAs, no mini camps, none of that?
Well, watching that interview, I was concerned because he couldn't name a play from his offense. Right. But he has embraced the offense. They've been able to put in more and more each week, and there are a lot of things that you have to do. He's developed as a pocket passer, so he can do the traditional things, and now he's changed the complexion of what he can do that's untraditional. And the wildcat plays are that much more dangerous because he can operate as what we know a quarterback to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing I think that really jumps out is one, the way he's passed the football, I think has been astonishing. The way he's looked poised and comfortable in the pocket, and the way he's been accurate, the ball's come out on time. But then to your point about those different packages, you can't defend them as a passing offense once they get into the red zone, because he might be the best goal line back in all of football. So, I mean, it's been unbelievable what they've been able to do.
To that point, this is my favorite stat. Last year as a team, the Panthers, for the entire 16 games, had 16 offensive touchdowns. So far, Cam Newton, by his own self, has 18. 11 passing and 7 rushing touchdowns. That's why Cam is a staple, it seems, every week in Plays of the Week. And we've got the best of Week 9 coming up on this edition of NFL Live. Oh, Rex, you didn't.
Rodgers has it. He's rolling left toward the end zone, and touchdown Packers. James Jones.
And just a perfect throw. Aaron Rodgers off the run is the best in the business.
His 15th touchdown pass, which leads everybody in the National Football League. On first down, Rodgers, he's open. Inside the 40, Jordy Nelson. Jordy Nelson. Touchdown Packers. 93 yards. And for Nelson, his 3rd touchdown this season of 50 yards or more. Surprised he has the energy to leap after going 93 yards. Rodgers, touchdown. Donald Driver. Aaron Rodgers already has over 230 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. We haven't got through the first half.
He's not good, Chris. He's great.
For the 7th consecutive season, Reggie Wayne recorded over 1,000 yards receiving in 2010.
Catch, Reggie! What a catch! Reggie went and got it.
The 10-year veteran was Peyton Manning's favorite target, catching 111 passes for nearly 1,400 yards and 6 touchdowns. After reaching the playoffs for the 9th consecutive season, Wayne and the Colts looked ahead to the postseason again and win their 2nd Super Bowl.
Well, I think that'll do it.
What?
Most of this liquid will just evaporate, and the floorboards are just going to absorb everything else, so... Yeah, have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Plays of the Week from Week 9. We start with number 10. Why won't we? Jets, Bills. How about Santonio Holmes, Tim?
This adjustment to the football is absolutely ridiculous. Really a poorly thrown ball by Mark Sanchez. Nice little celebration, too. Never saw Mangini do that.
Yeah, tremors in Western New York with Rex. Number 9, Monday Night Football. How about Brian Roll with the strip and running it back, Eric?
You always talk about being aware of where the football is and pressuring the ball. It's a great job for a guy and against a guy that never puts it on the ground.
Yeah, I think it had been 347 touches between fumbles there. Number 8, Packers, Chargers. We diagnosed these, and Charles Pepra is taking this one all the way back, Timmy.
Yeah, and really the best part of this play is the run back. Looked like it maybe played a little running back in the day.
Oh, the best part was the block. Clay Matthews block on Marcus McNeil.
Nicely done.
The Packers remain unbeaten. Lucky number 7, Jacoby Ford. What foot concentration as well as hand concentration.
It's a great play here on the sideline, but this is also what Carson Palmer gives you, is that vertical passing game.
Also gave him 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, number 6, we have a couple of blocked field goals. Anthony Spencer, well, he might have just pushed off.
Just maybe, but I tell you what, still pretty athletic move for a big guy. Also coming up with a big play for that Dallas Cowboys front. And then Calais Campbell getting the push, getting his hand up on that Josh Brown field goal attempt. Another big play that ultimately helped the Cardinals win the football game.
I think we might be talking about that one a little bit later. Number 5, how about Damian Williams? Yes, from Matthew Hasselbeck.
Eric liked the throw better than the catch,
yeah.
I think.
I think we all like the catch better.
How does that factor into the QBR?
Yeah, well, we'll let you know. Number 4, It is Eli Manning. And, you know, remember Steely Dan and Pretzel Logic? Look at that catch by Jake Ballard. That's pretty impressive for a really big guy.
It saves the interception as well.
It saves the interception, and what a great reference, Trey.
Thank you very much. I think, Eric, it just proved that we are old. People are, what is Steely Dan?
Yeah, what's he talking
Look it up, people. They were pretty cool. Meanwhile, game-winning touchdowns. How about Torrey Smith? Remember, he dropped one, Tim. They went right back to him.
Yeah, they did go right back to him. A nice job of Torrey Smith rebounding after making a horrible play, making the game-winning play just a few moments later.
And right there, maybe Babylon Sisters, he was shaking it against Steely Dan. Julio Jones. There are 3 Colts defenders there. Eric, how's the only one that finds the ball?
I have no idea. This ball should have never been thrown, and it's amazing that it was caught. And I don't know how you explain that from a coaching perspective, but you like it.
You do. And number 1, I told you there would be this again, Patrick Peterson. This was a good weekend to have somebody from LSU in overtime, whether in the game against Alabama or a former LSU guy here.
The amazing thing about it is how strong this guy is on punt returns, running through contact. And Mangini, I think these are the no-go-goes, right?
Yeah,
when you field it.
You never field the ball at the 1 yard line.
Don't. Good job. Good job.
It's like attaboy.
Yeah, it's like a 3-pointer jacked from midcourt. No, good shot. Meanwhile, by the way, got a basketball reference. Those have been few and far between lately. Come get a taste. Patrick Peterson, the Cardinal rookie, became only the 2nd player in the expansion era to score on 3 or more punt returns in his rookie year. The other, Devin Hester. When we continue great games this past Sunday, which one's coming up we'll be talking about early next week. That's ahead. This is NFL Live.
I'm Sidney Crosby. I play for the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I play center. I think for me, the best thing is being in the best league in the world. I mean, that's why you play, is to compete at the highest level. And, you know, it's a dream to play in the NHL. And for me, I'm getting the opportunity to do something I love and at the highest level. So just having that challenge, that's exciting. And I think that drives everyone. I think the toughest thing about playing professional hockey is, you know, the grind each and every night to be your best. Because really, if you're not your best, you're not gonna make a lot happen individually, and as a team, it's gonna be tough to compete if you're not consistent. So we all expect the same out of one another, and every team expects to be their best every night. But you know, it's easier said than done. So I think that's always the challenge. Don't miss the NHL on ESPN America.
They want to win. Go out there and play for it, go out. It's like a game of checkers. You make a move, I make a move. You make the wrong move, you might get jumped.
I always wanted to be a star, didn't I?
Now I get to be a star every day on my helmet.
Bengals Steelers not the only big game coming up in Week 10. Falcons host the Saints in an NFC South battle. Lions and Bears are jockeying. And don't forget the Sunday night game between the Jets and the Patriots, always entertaining. Other great games as well. Which one are you looking forward to the most? Eric, we start with you. Mangini Bowl?
Yeah,
Mangini Bowl?
Patriots, Jets, great. To whoever wins is probably going to win the division.
I'm looking forward to that game, but also Cincinnati hosting Pittsburgh. You know, and now we get to find out really what Andy Dalton was all about against a defense like Pittsburgh has.
Cowboys and Bills, a game that could define both of their seasons going forward. Thanks for watching NFL Live. We'll see you.
ESPN America. American for sports.